It's not playing the game. It's winning that counts.
Yeah, baby. We're going to go out there and win.
This is Just Win Bets, baby.
Just win, baby.
With JoeDaFan and Shane O'Mac.
How do they keep winning?
Live on the Sports Bet Winning Network.
And here we go. Welcome. It is Just Win Bets, baby, on the Sports Bet Winning Network. JoeDaFan alongside Shane O'Mac. We are live in studio on Friday night. A busy 60-minute show lined up tonight. We will go around the leagues with the NFL, the NFL Combine, the Association in the NBA, the NHL, and UFC Fight Night, as well as our 7-1 winners last night in 5 different leagues. Shana will talk about his best bets in the UFC Fight Night tomorrow night. In 10 minutes, the Wiseman will join us in 30 minutes with our college basketball segment of the show. And we will wrap up the show with our best bets around various leagues. But we begin with Tyler Biadasz, the former starter of the Washington Skins, being released soon, Shano. Washington better have a backup plan, Shano.
Yeah, that move really, really surprised me. I think it surprised a lot of people. I follow a lot of Skins reporters on Twitter and X, whatever you call it. And most of them were surprised too. No one really saw this one coming because, yeah, Biadasz isn't an all-pro. He's not an all-star. He won't make a Pro Bowl, but he's a solid starter. He's a solid starter. He's like a league average or slightly above league average at center play. Sure. Especially when you look at like the Pro Football Focus, when they do like the player ratings and stuff, he was rated in the better half of the league last year. So it's surprising that they're getting rid of him. I get that. He was making some money and it was going to go up a little bit, but nothing crazy for a starting offensive lineman. It was like $5 million. That's nothing that insane. It's a lot of money. Sure, I would take that in a heartbeat. But for a starting lineman, that's not crazy. So it's a little surprising to see them cut him.
Yeah, especially what we heard or talked about earlier in the week in regards to Wiley getting this extension for riding the bench.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're doing, Adam Peters, but you better have a backup plan. I thought he was decent. I don't think he was a huge stud. I think he's missed some, important blitz pickups. Didn't, call certain things. He was decent. I'm not going to say that he was the greatest of all time. No, but he's no Jeff Saturday.
He's a solid starter. He's nothing.
He's a solid starter. Yeah.
Sure. Solid starter. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. It surprised a lot of people. It surprised me for sure. Hopefully they don't use the 7th overall pick to draft a center. That would be
No, I hope not. But again, he's no Jeff Saturday.
No. He's not that good. No,
he's no Bostic. He might be close to Bostic, but he did some good, positive things. There's some things, sure, he could have improved on. For the money that we paid him, I got every penny out of it, give or take. Okay, but who do you have better? That's my question.
That's at the center position. Nobody, unless they're training somebody else or they have a plan at free agency. I know that the Ravens are probably not re-signing their center, and he's like a 2-time All-Pro. But do you really want to spend $12 million at the center position? I'd rather stick with somebody who's around 5 to 6. Not that the center is not important. It is. Right. It's just
it is very important. Yeah.
I'd rather spend the money at a more premier position than an interior offensive lineman.
I don't. I'm not. It's not adding up to me at all. Why you would get.
He did have an injury late last year. Do you think maybe they know something, like he's not fully recovering from, or they're scared he might not be the same after it?
It's possible, but maybe you put him on IR. Okay.
Yeah.
And so you don't pay the guy, right? And then you bring in some other guy, sure, but go full release on him. And there's got to be a red flag there. There's got to be something that we don't know, and just said, and again, it could be injury prone. It could be something totally different that's within the organization. Maybe he pissed DQ off. I don't know. We don't know. We're not your boy JP Finley, but I'm just suggesting you need someone to snap the ball who knows pretty much the offense. Now, granted, it's going to be a new offense, yes, but there's got to be some familiarity in regards to him and Jaden. So you just don't just throw in a center and like, okay, hey, we're going to just make chemistry right off the bat. No, that's not how it works.
Yeah, he's got great chemistry with Jaden. They do the chunky soup commercials together.
Man,
maybe that's the problem. He was eating too much chunky soup. He got a little too chunky. He gained a little bit too many LBs.
Yeah, it could be, but I mean, I never was a fan of those commercials and stuff like that. How about win? How about win in practice? How about not getting injured? Yada yada yada. Then we won't have this problem. Then you can once you win a Super Bowl, make 50 million commercials. Okay, make it during the off season, please. Don't do it during the season. Okay, don't be doing it. Don't do it during mini camp or training camp, obviously. So if you want to do a State Farm commercial like Mahomes, and so I don't know.
I remember that drove people nuts about Chase Young. Is like he skipped. It was voluntary mini camp.
Sure,
give that. It was voluntary, but he skipped that so he could do shoot a commercial for Mercedes Benz or something like that. The DC area Mercedes. But do you remember that? It was like huge news, and people were pissed. They're like, "What are you doing? Like you're like the number one pick. You got to be there." And then everybody and some other people were like, "Oh, it's voluntary. He'll be fine." Yeah, you got to be there if it's training camp. Most of the guys do commercials though. They usually do it in the off season. So
Sure. I mean, if you're going to do it's not Paisanos. What is it called? The local pizza place.
Yeah, Paisanos. They all do Paisanos. Yeah.
Okay. Or Eastern Motors.
Yeah.
Okay. I can live with that. That shouldn't take you more than a day, let alone 2. That probably take you a day at max.
Yeah, it's probably like 2-3 hours.
2-3 hours. Okay. So, to get makeup or to get your clothes. Okay. Probably going to take you half a day. I can live with that. But, and I understand that athletes need to make a little money on the side. I get all that. I have no problem with that. The problem that I have is you have a job. Your job is to play football for a particular team. That's why I don't like the flag football. I don't. Because if you go out there, and I'm not saying that, and I'm not wishing anyone to get hurt, but if you get hurt, okay, he's out for a season. Why? Because he was playing flag football, or he was playing a pickup game, at a local high school, whatever.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
The flag football is concerning. I don't mind if quarterbacks and receivers meet up and throw routes to each other, stuff like that. That's fine with me. But yeah, when we get other people guarding them, anything can happen, right? And
sure,
injuries are not good. I agree.
Real quick, you mentioned the combine. There's reports we're looking at Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame, the running back.
I don't know why you would get rid of offensive linemen and then draft a running back. That's my first thought about that. I think Jeremiah Love is going to be a really good player. The running back position has kind of been devalued over the last few years because there's so many guys who come out of the 3rd, 4th, 5th round that do pretty well. Sure. And you can go, there's very few bell cows anymore. Most teams go with a running back by committee, right? So, but having that bell cow on a guy and explosive like him, it can be very beneficial. It just, is he worth a 7th overall pick? I don't know.
I don't know either, but I mean, Dallas is probably looking at him. I wouldn't be surprised. It wouldn't surprise me if New York, the Giants, picked him up. Would not surprise me at all. I'm not taking anything from Scadaboo, but that's a nice 1-2 punch right there for a long time. So, that's free advice. I know Giants need a lot of work, but I mean, if you have an opportunity to see that guy, or, they've talked about Sonny Styles from Ohio State? Is that his name?
Yeah.
The receiver.
That dude, did you see his combine numbers?
I saw that.
They were off the charts. He ran like a 4.40. His vertical leap was like a 42 inch or 43 inch vertical or something ridiculous. I was like, good God, man, that guy's a freak athlete.
Yeah, I mean,
his brother is in the draft too, in the combine. His brother plays corner. So one of them was an edge rusher linebacker, and the other one's a corner. And the corner, he ran a 4.2. That dude can fly too. Rich Eisen tweeted it out. It has the overlay of their 40 times at the same time. And it's just funny because the corner is obviously a little bit smaller, but they were neck and neck with each other. And it's it was nuts. Both of them crazy fast.
Yeah, crazy fast. But it's also crazy fast that it's already around the corner was the combine. I mean, we just had the Super Bowl a couple weeks ago, right? And now, holy cow, the combine, which is, they're getting ready and they're going to have, more evaluations and stuff like that for each position. And then you have the draft in about a month and a half.
Yeah, and the draft's in Pittsburgh this year. They move around every year now, so it's in Pittsburgh this year. When's it coming to DC, the National Mall? Is that the following year or the year after?
I think it's a year after. I think it's a year after. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
I was lucky enough when I went to Green Bay this year. They had the draft last year in Green Bay, and people were still talking about the locals there. They're like, oh, yeah. And they said, like, how many people were there? It was, like, packed. And I was like, couldn't imagine it. Pittsburgh's a pretty cool little city to go to for that. I mean, I hate the Penguins, but –
yeah, that's true. You and me both. Let's shift gears now as we are talking UFC Fight Night, Shano. And I know that you had some, you're not going to have a pick for every single one. We did talk to Lou. Lou's a little under the weather. Heard his podcast earlier. I think he's battling some like sinus infection, what have you. But hope you're feeling better, my friend. We'll have Lou Finacharo on next week. So as he tells us his best bets or his leans for UFC 326, which some good news. As you know, Shano, we talked off the air. A very surprising guest gave me a call on, I think, what was it? On Tuesday or Wednesday, I believe.
Yeah.
The great Bruce Buffer. Out of the blue, I'm driving my kid home from school, and it says on my phone, Bruce Buffer. I don't want to give out his number, obviously, but it was. Hold on, let me see if I can get this.
Whatever you do, don't do that, or you'll never get that call again.
We'll never get that call again. There's Lou. Hold on, I'm looking for it. But he called me, talked to me for about, here it is. He talked to me about 6 minutes. I'm just checking. Nope, there it is. So don't worry, his phone number's not on there. So he called me and wanted to talk to me about some things. And again, always a pleasure talking to him. But I did not have the opportunity because I know he's always busy. I did not have the opportunity. He's doing the fight night tomorrow. I could have asked him that, but I just said, nah. I wanted to have him. I didn't want to take away from what he wanted to ask me and talk to me about, but I'm glad that we were able to talk for 5-10 minutes, and he's doing well. And he thanks us for the gift that we sent him. We sent him a nice, some gin, and we sent him a nice bottle for his, I think his assistant. She got some nice red wine, I believe. Nice. I don't know what producer Mark sends. He doesn't talk to us. You know what he needs to send? How about send us a check? Because we went 7-1 last night in 5 different leagues. How about do that?
Stupid Sharks. God, I hate the Sharks. They ruined the perfect day. How do you lose to the Flames at home? The Flames are terrible on the road. They've only had 7 wins all year on the road. Now 8. And then the Sharks are usually pretty good at home. That's one of the reasons why I was picking them. Stupid Sharks. Come on.
Correct. Well, what are you going to do?
Maybe it's. I mean, it is some of it might be a little rust coming back from the break. I get it. Yada yada yada. But still, you got to beat the Flames when they come to your place. They're terrible on the road.
Yeah. But amazing 2-0 in NBA, 2-0 college basketball. PWHL went 1-0. Soccer went 1-0. And of course, she ended with 1-1 on.
It did end a nice long streak, though. We went 11-0
about Boston.
Yeah, I was worried about Boston because Wiseman was expected to start. That's their number one goaltender, and then he did not start yesterday. So I was a little concerned at first. I was like, "Oh no!" Because that was after I'd made the pick already, of course. But Boston still showed up, 1-4-2. That was great. And so we were on 11-0 heater, and then the Sharks screwed us. 11-1. Yeah. The heat streak is over.
Yeah. We have, of course, UFC. We're going to go from the top of the list to the bottom here, Shano. Of the main card, obviously you don't have a pick for each one, but I did get Lou's picks, so we'll talk about that a little bit later. So let's share that. And we've got here the odds right here, my friend. Marino taking on the Englishman, Kavanaugh. Do we have a bet for this one there?
I do. I do have a bet for this one. Kavanaugh, he's a good up and coming fighter. The problem with this is he's taking this fight on short notice, and he was going to fight already in March, so it's not like he won't be. Like he hasn't been training. He has been training, but he hasn't been preparing for Moreno like a full camp like he would like he should be when he's fighting somebody like that.
Right.
So that's a concern for Kavanaugh. Another concern for Kavanaugh is it's in Mexico City. If you don't know Mexico City, the elevation there is crazy. It's higher than what Denver is. So like people complain like when fights or in NFL games or whatever's in Denver, people complain about the elevation there. And Mexico City has a higher elevation than Denver does. Mm-hmm. So that's a concern for him too. Moreno is a Mexican fighter. He's fought in Mexico City multiple times in his career. So he definitely has that. And he'll for sure have the crowd behind him being a Mexican fighter fighting in Mexico. Side note about this conversation. It's going to be crazy down there. I don't know if you guys have heard what's going on in Mexico right now, but there's like some civil unrest down there. There might be like a civil war going on down there. So like UFC was originally people were saying like, are they actually going to have this thing? They are going to have like extra security and all that stuff there. But it's not looking good for Kavanaugh for that for me. The other concern I have about with Kavanaugh outside of that is he's done pretty well in the UFC, but he hasn't fought somebody on the same level as Moreno. Moreno is a very seasoned UFC vet. He has fought the best of the best, and he's a former two-time former champ in this division. So this is his first test against somebody on Moreno's level. And I think that's going to give him some problems, especially with Moreno's wrestling and jiu-jitsu. I could see him taking him down, getting him to the ground. Especially, I think Kavanaugh will come out strong and striking the first round or two. But then that elevation kicks in. He gets a little winded. He got winded his last fight and got knocked out. I don't know if Moreno knocks him out. He doesn't really have this huge knockout power. But I could see him submitting him, like getting him down to the ground and getting him in like a rear naked choke or something like that. So my bet, what I'm doing here is I'm going to do a double chance.
Okay.
Moreno either by submission or decision.
Okay. Moreno by submission or decision. And what's that payout? Do you know?
Last I saw, it was minus 125.
Okay.
I can look that up right now and see what it currently is.
As we do that, as you do that, quick shout out. We have the Tale of Tape, and the Tale of Tape, of course, has been now sponsored. So we are, of course, being sponsored by Next MMA. Check out their website, nextmma.com. Told you all of the stats that you need to know and be prepared for your UFC fights. He's been doing it for a very long time. And believe me, Shano, you saw the stats on this gentleman's page, and he's gonna work with us as well. And then on the bottom, you can see our good friend Lou Finichero's podcast. Cuts it right to the chase. Don't need to see the whole half hour, listen to the whole half hour, 2 hours of his podcast. He does it in 5-10 minutes tops. He gives you his 4 best plays or 5 best plays. He breaks it down as he calls it round 1, round 2, round 3, etc. So check out About Business, Lou Finichero, who's been doing it for 40 years. Yeah,
I listened to Lou's picks earlier today. I think he had 4. I think he had 4 rounds.
Yeah, he had 4. Yeah,
I think he had 4.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I just looked it up. Moreno, it's dropped. It was at minus 125 earlier today. It's already down to minus 135. So it's dropped another 10 points already.
Okay, so we have to get in on that.
So if you want to get on that, I would get on it soon because it looks like it's moving that way. I think that's the best bet. If I had to guess, I mean, it's 5 rounds. That's the other concern about Kavanaugh. He's never fought in a 5-round match before in the UFC, where Moreno has. And this is a 5-round because it's the main event. It's not for the belt or anything like that, but it is all their main events, or not all of them. I would say a majority of their main events are 5 rounds. So that's concerning, especially with the elevation and all that stuff, right? And taking the fight on short notice and Kavanaugh's more of a stand-up guy, striker, and you're going against a guy who's really good at wrestling and jiu-jitsu that wants to get him down to the ground. So, when he gets in those championship rounds, those 4th and 5th rounds, I think anything can happen. So I'm taking Moreno submission decision. It's at minus 135 right now.
Double chance Moreno decision or submission at minus 135, courtesy of our friends over at DraftKings. Let's move to the next fight there, Shano, is, of course, Vega taking on Martinez. Now, our good friend Lou Finichero had a pick for this one, but it's a little bit too much of the juice for me.
Yeah, I think he went with Martinez, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah, I like Martinez a lot in this one as well. Vera's a good fighter. He's getting up there in age. That's his problem. And then like this weight class division, age matters. And when we had Lou on for our long interview with him, he told us that when the fighters in this division are 6 years or more apart, the younger fighter wins almost 70% of the time. So, right. I mean, that tells you something huge right there. Martinez is a young up-and-coming fighter. He's very fast, very quick, very good striker. He won't try and wrestle anybody. He does have some knockout power, but Vera has never been finished in his whole career, his whole UFC career. He's never been finished, never been submitted, and never been knocked out. And he's fought some guys that have some knockout power. He's fought Sean O'Malley before, who's got really good knockout power, right? So like, it's not like he's fought like some scrubs. He's a seasoned vet. So the advantage for Vera is that he's fought some top competition where Martinez has not. Right. The problem with this is, I think, it kind of goes back to the elevation too, is Martinez trains in Mexico City. That's where he trains year round in Mexico City. So he's used to that environment. He's used to that city. He's going to have the crowd behind him, just like Moreno, because he's a Mexican fighter and he's actually from that city. So where Moreno, I think's from Tijuana, I think, somewhere out there, like out on that side of Mexico. Right. But Martinez is from Mexico City and he fights in Mexico City. That's where he trains. So he's got a huge advantage there. Huge advantage there. Right. Like I said, Vera's been a tough fighter. I just don't. I think Martinez is his quickness and speed gives him a huge edge in this fight.
Do you have a bet for this particular fight, the co-main event?
I like Martinez by decision. Okay. I think it's worth sprinkling some on unanimous decision as well. What scares me a little bit about that is, like I said, Vera is a very seasoned UFC fighter. So if he could steal a round or two, if he steals 2 rounds, he wins the fight. So I don't think he's going to steal 2. But if he steals a 1 round where it's dominant enough, where he gets enough points, it might be a split decision. Mm-hmm. But unanimous decision right now, Martinez is minus 135. And then straight decision, what is that at currently? That's double chance. It at
2.25, minus 225. That's a lot of juice.
That is a lot of juice. So I'm gonna stick with Martinez unanimous decision, minus 135.
Okay. And I believe Lou had him. He does points. I think he had him at plus. He took the point at plus 5.5. I believe that was the one. I'll double check with Lou. Again, he's a little under the weather, but he'll join us next week, hopefully. Hope you feel better, my friend. And but the graphics here, I'm loving the graphics here, my friend. Look at that. And you, real brief, because we got to get to the next 3 before we get the Wiseman. Next MMA, you saw the website. Your thoughts?
I'm sorry. Next MMA? Yeah, the great website there it's got stats for every single fighter out there for every fight. Breaks it down. Shows you their takedown defense, how many takedowns they have, wins by submission, wins by knockout. It shows like their last 10 opponents that they fought, literally list right there, and you can look for more for them later on too. Really cool website. Check them out there at nextmma.com. Really cool website to check out if you're into UFC betting at all, or just UFC stats. If you're into UFC stats and all that stuff, really cool website. Give them a check out.
We took the data and we ran our numbers, so that's why we are. It's good to have that information. You know what I'm saying, Shano? It's really good especially when it comes to these fights. Yeah,
totally. One piece of information I got from that website, and that was part of my Martinez fight, is one thing about Martinez, he's not good on the ground. Mm-hmm. He really hasn't been tested on the ground either. But Vera, what I found out, he hasn't had a takedown. Like, he hasn't taken someone down to the ground since 2021. So 5 years was the last time he took someone down to the ground, which is another reason why I think Martinez is a huge favorite. I mean, he's like minus 300 on some sites, straight money line. Yeah. So eventually Martinez will get caught by somebody who can grapple and take him to the ground. And I think that's where he's going to start to see some trouble in the UFC. But right now, Vera's not the guy who's going to take him down to the ground. So I think Martinez wins. But yeah, I found that on Next MMA's website there. So cool. They have tons of information, tons of stats that you can look at, and it's really, really good website.
Let's move to the next fight there, Shano. Of course, another Mexican, Zel Uber, taking on King Green, the American. And do you have a play on this one?
I do. This is like my last main play here.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Okay.
All right.
Because I have a play on the next one, but go ahead.
King Green here. That's his nickname there is King, or I think he might have legally changed his name too.
I think he legally did. Yeah, I agree.
I think he legally changed it to King. He's getting older, which is a concern, right? He's 39, which is pretty old for this division, but he's still a pretty good boxer, right? He's still a pretty good boxer. His last 2 fights, he lost to Ruffy, which we just saw last UFC pay-per-view, and he's lost to Paddy Pimblett, who's an up-and-coming star who was at the last pay-per-view before that, where he lost to Justin Gaethje, right? Mm-hmm. So he's been fighting some really good fighters in this division, really good fighters. So he's got the advantage there for sure, fighting top competition. When you look at Zellhuber's side there, the 2 guys, his last 2 fights in the UFC weren't anything special. He fought Prado and Giagas, and his last fight he lost. And the last guy he fought, it was the same type of thing. He's an older guy. He's 37, which is still pretty old, not as old as King, but it kind of tells me that he's not on that level of experience yet. I think he should still be favored, but I think this point spread, or like the odds here, are just too big. Right. I think it's worth putting like a half a unit on King Green, just straight money line here. I think he's got the experience. I think he's got a shot at plus 375, somewhere around there, right? Or plus 380, plus 380.
Yep.
I think it's worth sprinkling some money on it. I really do. So I'm going to put like a half a unit on King Green here to win.
King Green, half unit, plus 380. Okay.
Like I said, I don't like betting on a guy that's almost 40 in this division because it is smaller. It's a lightweight division, so it's not like they're huge guys. Right. And like what Lou told us is the younger guy wins 70% of the time. But hey, there's that 30% maybe chance, right? So, sure. So he just has the experience. He's fought in tougher competition. I think he's got a shot. I'm not saying he's going to win straight out. I think it's worth the sprinkle because I think the odds are too far off. I think it's just it's like in your favor here. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. No, I understand. And we can see the tail escape there.
I think he should be closer to like plus 200, not plus 380.
Yeah,
I agree.
That's
a little high.
I agree with that. I agree with that statement. But you're talking a 13 year difference there in age.
Yeah.
So, and of course, Daniel has a longer reach. So just something to keep in mind. Excuse me. Let's go to, I'm going to skip the next fight between Edgar and Felipe. We're going to skip that one, and we're going to go to my peeps. Rodriguez taking on Kevin Bojas, and this is something that Lou obviously picked as well. I'm going to agree with Lou. Now, he took on Van, and he lost by decision.
Yeah, and Van's a very good fighter.
This guy's a very good fighter, and he's more experienced. I'm going to go a little pizza money myself. Let's go with money line. The peruano, as they say for my peeps, Kevin Bojas plus 370. Is that the number right now still, Shano, or did it go down?
For straight money line?
Yeah.
Did Lou take a money line or did he take him plus the points?
Oh, he took him plus the points. Excuse me. He took it plus the points. So I'm going to give him credit for that. And I agree with him on that statement.
Plus the points is at plus 175. That's not bad either.
That's not bad. Not bad. I'm going to agree with Lou then. I'm going to put what I misspoke. I'm going to do a little pizza money on the Peruvian here, Kevin Bojas, to win on money line.
Yeah, money line is at plus 350 currently, so it's dropped a little bit. So not terrible, but it's at plus 350. So that's still a huge payout. If you want the point spread is at 3.5, and so if you take plus 3.5 points, that gets you at plus 175. Well, that's a solid bet there too, I think.
Yeah. That's what Lou stated on his podcast. So I'm going to agree with him on that one. Again, I apologize. I misspoke there. So I'm going to agree with Lou and taking the points, trusting the judges. And, it could be straight up 30-27 unanimous decision right there. But to be honest,
if it's 30-27 unanimous decision, he still wins. So even if
no
he
matter
loses
what,
every round,
yeah, absolutely.
he just can't lose 10-8. That's all. You don't want.
Right. And I don't think Rodriguez would do that. I think the more I'm basing everything on the experience, and based on a couple of close matches. I mentioned Van being one of them. I think Kevin, the Peruvian, will beat Rodriguez. So, yeah.
Yeah, this is a very hard UFC fight night for betting. There's a lot of heavy favorites on this card, a lot, and a lot of guys have been talking about that online. I think I might put together, see like the best parlay to like kind of like put some of these heavy favorites together and see like if we can get like 2 or 3 ones that get us like at plus, like some plus money, like plus 120 or plus 150, and then that might be another route to go. I'll look at that tonight and then I'll tweet it out so you guys can have something out too. And we'll make sure we put it in the newsletter too.
Absolutely. We're going to take a little quick break right now. We're going to get the Wiseman in here to talk about his college basketball picks. I got a bone to pick with him in regards to Michigan State's last night victory over Purdue, the Boilermakers, which I think he needs to sign a check to me. Don't forget, there are a total, excuse me, there's 2 A's in JoeDaFan when you sign the check there, my friend. But we'll get them on right after this. This is Just Win Bets Baby, the sports bet winning network. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It is Just Win Bets Baby on the Sports Bet Winning Network. We are joined with the Wiseman, of course, who is joining us for our weekly NCAA men's basketball picks. But first, before we even begin, I know you got to have something on tonight's game behind me, Michigan, Illinois.
Fighting Illini, baby. Let's go Illini. Illini are plus 2.5, I believe, and they're winning by 1. Wait, last I checked, I don't know. What is it now?
Yes, I believe it's 22-20, your favorite college.
Listen, I told you they were going to lose to Duke. I told you Boozer was going to go off on them. Listen, this Michigan team, little overrated in my book, but hey, that's why they play the games in March.
That's why they play the games in March. Before we went on break on our last segment, Shano was talking about his UFC picks. And I said, hey, you need to write me a check. And remember, there's 2 A's in JoeDaFan, because I helped your team, your overrated coach, who had no clue how to come back from being down by 10, I believe, in the first half. Don't quote me on that, okay? And then I kept texting you, drive to the basket. No. What do? You have your 7-footer, I don't even know, some guy who's like 7'3" or whatever.
Kohler.
Dirk Nowitzki wannabe, Vlade Divac wannabe, who's taken not only 1 3 in a row, 3 times in a row, he kept brick. What are you doing?
Sparty went into one of the most hostile environments in all of college basketball in Mackey Arena, Purdue, last night, against the top 10 ranked team. Didn't start out that well. That's to be expected. That atmosphere is rowdy. Gene Cady, the old legendary coach of the Boilermakers, was in the building. But Sparty does what Sparty does as March approaches. They come back and they win. Izzo was interviewed after the game. The same Izzo who you say is overrated, but is arguably he's a Hall of Fame coach, and he's one of the best coaches to ever play the game. He called it one of the best games of his illustrious 25-year career. Yes, last night's win. Called it one of the best of his career. So watch out. All the Pistons are firing. What movie is that from? With Jimmy, all the Pistons are firing.
Ooh, I'm going to have to pass on that one. Shayna?
I don't even know about that. Know that one. I know a lot of movies.
I do too.
With Jimmy, all the Pistons are firing. It's going to take the Indiana National Guard to get me out of here. I need you to come along for the ride. You don't know this one? Hoosiers.
Never saw it.
Oh, yeah.
Never saw it.
It's been so long since I've seen Hoosiers. I don't know. Yeah.
Never saw it.
I watched. You've never seen? Oh my God. Are you seriously? Last week you didn't see. You haven't seen Days of Thunder. Now you're telling me you haven't seen Hoosiers?
I do have Days of Thunder on the list, and I believe I'll have an opportunity to watch it tomorrow. On the day off here, but it's just no. Sorry.
Yeah, Hoosiers is great, man. Gene Hackman is the coach. Is a great.
I know. It's bad.
Gene Hackman's the coach. Dennis Hopper is the assistant coach. Barbara Hershey, I believe. She's the love interest, of which she also attempted to kill Roy Hobbs in The Natural. She was also in that movie. So Barbara Hershey, I believe.
Okay, here's where people start turning off the podcast real quick. I have not watched Hoosiers. I have not watched Miracle. Okay, do you believe in Miracle? I mean, I saw the 1980s replay or whatever. Yeah, it's the real thing, but not the movie with Kurt Russell. I have not seen that movie. Days of Thunder, no. So I'm not doing that well on the sports movies.
Yeah,
not doing well. I did see this week Godfather 2.
For the first time?
No. For the millionth time, literally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I love that movie. Well, I love, I think 2 more than 1. If I had to rank them, and it's to me, it's very, very close. I would say Godfather 2, Godfather 1, Godfather 3. You can argue 1 and 2, like 1, 2, and 3, but I think 2 is better than 1. That's my opinion.
I get three's definitely at the end.
Yeah, 3's at the end. Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Andy Garcia was great. A young Andy Garcia. I thought when I first saw it, oh man, he's Italian. I didn't know that. Well, I should have figured it out when it was Garcia, but Cuban descent. And no, he's a great actor. Yeah. In my opinion, he's a great actor. Anyway, that's of course
not really a fun fact, but Andy Garcia, his niece was the one that was like married to Sean Taylor.
Oh, really?
I didn't know that.
I think it was his niece.
I didn't know that. I did not know that. I think the last movie I saw with Andy Garcia, where I was forced, for the record, I was forced to watch this movie. It had Gloria Estefan in it, and it was like Father of the Bride, or the Latino version of Father. I don't know.
The Latino version of Father of the Bride? Oh,
yeah.
I mean, Father of the Bride is a great movie.
Father of the Bride is a great movie.
Steve Martin at his finest.
Yes. Navy Blue. Let's start with our picks here. I'm going to go first. I want to apologize to the Mormons, my peeps. I apologize. I'm sorry I picked against you last week. We had a terrible week, all 3 of us, yes, but I'll speak for myself. Mormons, I apologize. It won't happen again, because I'm not going to let it happen again. I'm going to do what I helped last night with Michigan State. I'm going to help you guys, the Cougars, defeat that non-third rated college. I don't even think it is a college. I think it's worse than a community college. Okay. The one in West Virginia University, with their little first down, all that garbage that they do. I don't know what I don't even think it's accredited college. 5:30 tip off here. Big 12 regular season as it winds down, and we can talk about some mid-major conferences a little bit later in the show here. But the Cougars, of course, high octane here. They've lost some major guys. We talked about this, gentleman, last week or the week before when it came to Richie Saunders, torn ACL. He's out for the season. But you talk about the road, kind of like the Road Warriors, in a sense of they struggled a little bit, but even though they're a 20-8 overall team, they've had some struggles on the road. They will not have any struggles here against this non-rated, overrated or college that they have. They call this Morgantown the Fortress. I completely disagree. Excuse me. They already pulled off a massive home upset over Kansas and Cincinnati. Cincinnati is not even a great team this year. Let's really be honest. Kansas is pretty good, but they're ranked 22 right now. So I'm going to go with it's a must win, of course, for West Virginia. But hey, you don't always get what you want. the Rolling Stones. So give me BYU, the Mormons, okay, who are going to be, they've got the superior talent with AJ and Robert Wright III. They're still currently trying to find that next person to step up because of Saunders being out for the season. But again, West Virginia is desperate at home, has a defensive blueprint that has already beaten the two teams that I mentioned earlier in Kansas and Cincinnati. But I think it's going to be a close game. It'll be a late game collapse as BYU beats them. So give me BYU minus 1.5 over West Virginia. That's my first pick.
Book of Mormon.
Book of Mormon.
Let's go Cougars.
Yes. Shano?
Yeah, last week I went 1-1. So I wasn't terrible last week, but
right.
I'm 1-1. This week I'm trying to get back on the 2-0 train. So I'm 13-3 overall since we've been doing this. Trying to add more wins in the column here. First game I'm looking at, I sent this to you guys earlier. The Seton Hall Pirates are taking on the UConn Huskies, the number 6 ranked UConn Huskies, and they'll probably climb more because they just came off a huge win against a top 15 team in St. John's, where they won 72-40. They blew the doors off of St. John's. They looked really good. They held St. John's to only 19% field goal percentage. Isn't that crazy? 19%.
That's crazy.
How do you go 19% from the field? I think that was a little bit of a payback game for the Huskies because they lost to St. John's earlier this month. Not to say that UConn's not good. They're a really good team, but they're playing Seton Hall tomorrow, and Seton Hall I think just has a little bit more to play for. I think UConn is coming off that huge game. They're at home, but the Seton Hall and then played earlier this year. UConn won. They won by 5 points. It was 69-64. Seton Hall is kind of on the bubble right now to try and make it into the tournament. So I think they just have a little bit more to play for. ESPN currently gives them a chance, about 15% chance to make the tourney. But do you know how to get a selection committee's attention is to have an upset win over UConn, right? Or they play St. John's here in a week. If they upset one of those two teams, that will definitely help them get in, right? So I think they have a lot more to play for. I still don't think they'll win the game. But I think 14.5 points where the spread's at right now is way too big for this game for a team that they just played a week and a half ago and they only lost by 5. If you look at Seton Hall, they have a really good defense. They have a top 10 ranked defense in college basketball right now, and they hold opposing teams to only 39% from the field. So, and what their style of play is a very slow paced game, low scoring, and those type of games tend to favor covering the points, right? So I'm taking Seton Hall with that huge spread. I'm taking Seton Hall plus 14.5. I think UConn still wins, like I said, but 14.5 points is way too big.
It is way too big, and I have to agree with you on that one. So Shano's first pick is Seton Hall plus 14.5 at minus 110. And I believe that was FanDuel, yes?
Yes.
No,
yeah.
Oh, no. That was FanDuel or was that
DraftKings had it at minus 115. FanDuel had it at minus 110.
Okay.
I don't know what it's currently at. I texted that to you guys. I don't remember. Like 3 or 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Yeah.
But,
let's go with the Wiseman's first pick.
Sounds good. Rough week last week. I liked my picks, but just didn't come through. That puts us at 10-6 overall, though, so still in the green, which we'll take any day. For my first pick, I'm going back out to LA. We've been spending a lot of time in LA the past couple of weeks, but we got number 12, the Nebraska Cornhuskers, going out and playing USC Trojans, 4 p.m. on Saturday. The last line I'm showing is Nebraska favored by 3.5. Let's take a look at Nebraska. 24-4 overall. Kind of a darling story in college basketball, having a great season. They've won 3 out of their last 4. Their defense is playing great. During that stretch of 4 games, they've held all their opponents to under 64 points. They got 4 guys averaging double digits, including Bryce Stanford, who's averaging 18. So he's leading the offensive train for them. USC, on the other hand, 18-10. They have been on the tournament bubble for several weeks now, fighting for their tournament lives. I think the last bracketology report had them at the first 4 out, but they've been on the bubble pretty solidly the past couple of weeks. How have they responded to being on the bubble? Well, they've lost 4 in a row. That's including a 19-point loss to UCLA, their arch rival, earlier in the week. That includes a loss to lowly Oregon at home in LA, a loss to Ohio State. Their only good loss, if you can say it, was a 36-point loss to the Fighting Illini. So they have not responded well to being on the bubble. I think they're realizing their season is pretty much over. So I'm taking Nebraska -3.5. I know this is a tough travel spot for them going out west, but this isn't like an East Coast team traveling out west or even a Midwest team traveling out west. Nebraska, pretty center of the country. So not a terrible spot. Nebraska's still fighting for seeding. I think they're pegged in at like a 3 or 4 seed right now, with potentially the opportunity to move up to a 2 seed. So listen, USC is rolling. This is just as much a fade of USC as it is a pick on Nebraska. Chad Baker-Mazara for USC. He's back now after an injury, but he's been tweaking that injury. He didn't look too hot earlier in the week. Your boy Gilbert Arenas' son, who plays for USC, Elijah Arenas, he's in a terrible shooting streak, shooting under 30% in that 4-game stretch. So I like Cornhuskers -3.5 in this one.
I was going to make an inappropriate comment there, Shayna, regarding when he said shooting, and it looked like the Wiseman hesitated there, and I didn't want to say anything.
No, I mean, I used that nomenclature on purpose for sure.
Just don't bring guns to the locker room. That's all I'm suggesting. That's all I'm suggesting.
Yep.
Let's go.
That's not a great 30 for 30. We always talk about 30 for 30s. They just had one on the whole Wizards and Gilbert Arenas.
Really?
Came out like 6 months or so ago. It was a really good one.
Oh,
yeah. I got to watch this stuff. I tell you, I got to watch this stuff. Let's move to our hot dog pick. And Shano, let's go with you first, and then I'll go second, and then the Wiseman can clean it up on the hot dog. So, Shano, you're up for the hot dog.
All right, I'm staying in the Big East. That's what's been working for me, and I didn't like losing last week, so I'm staying in the Big East. I'm going Providence Friars at Creighton Blue Jays. Providence. I went with them earlier this year against Creighton. They beat Creighton. They were underdogs, 2.5-point underdogs to Creighton. They beat them straight up. They beat them by 5. Once again, they're underdogs to Creighton. They're plus 3.5 this time. Right. I once again think this is the wrong team favorite here. So neither of these teams have a good defense. Providence, his defense is terrible. They're like 315th or something like that in the nation. But Creighton's defense is like 287th in the nation. All right. So neither one plays defense. And Providence has a huge offensive advantage. They're top 10 in college basketball in scoring per game, points per game. They're scoring over 87 points per game, while Creighton only scores around 75 points per game. That's a huge difference. And if you look at their last couple games here, the last 6 games, Providence is 4-2 in their last 6. Creighton is on a slide here. They're 2-4 in their last 6. I don't understand how Creighton is still favored against this team. I'm going to be playing a single bet opposite of the hot dog, Providence plus 3.5. I think that's a pretty solid bet. But for the hot dog, let's get nuts. I'm taking Providence money line once again. And I saw it on FanDuel at plus 140, the money line for Providence.
Okay.
So that's my hot dog pick.
I thought you were going to take the point, so give me 1 second. Yeah, it is plus 140 on FanDuel.
Unless you want to go safe and go with the points. Like I said, I'm going to do a single bet with Providence plus the points. But for the hot dog, I want to get some juice. I'm going to get some money here. Let's take a swing. Let's get nuts.
5:30 game on TNT. So let me pull that in. 4 o'clock. FanDuel, can we just adjust it to just, like Caesars and DraftKings? I mean, does it? But anyway, Providence plus 140. Okay. I'm going to go next as promised. I can't believe I'm doing this. I still can't believe I'm doing this. And my brother-in-law might be giving me a hug here. I'm going to take, I can't believe I'm saying this, the Vols of Tennessee. I minus 4.5. I must be drunk. Maybe there's something in the dew here. 6 o'clock tip off here in Knoxville, Alabama. It's obviously they're trailing Gainesville. Gainesville is up there But this both teams currently sit in a 3-way tie for second in these SEC. So with 10-4 in conference play. I think this is a time where Tennessee starts to build momentum, especially when they go into the conference tournament, let alone go into if they make it to March Madness, which, by the way, side note, I don't see where Joe Lunardi has Michigan State as a 4 seed in the Big Dance. I don't know what he's drinking. I really don't. We'll cover that in just a second if we have time. But if you had to struggle against not only Purdue, you lost. Okay, I'm not even going down that road. Anyway, and we have an excuse. 2 of our best players have been hurt. But anyway, Alabama is currently on a heater. Yes. But historically trends from downtown, but historically trends favors the Vols. Rick Barnes has Nate Oates' number, and the interior rebounding disadvantage for Alabama is obviously a red flag in my book. Give me Tennessee minus 4.5 is going to be my hot dog pick. I think they win by maybe by 7, 8. I think they win by that much. I digress.
Picking the Lady Vols.
I'm taking the Lady Vols. I can't believe I'm actually doing that, but it's currently at plus 358, pending the Wiseman hot dog pick, which is coming up. Go ahead.
I mean, I was just looking to tick off, the Sparty's big wins. They've beaten up on USC or UNC. They beat up on Kentucky. They beat up on Auburn. Their non-conference schedule's just been Arkansas. Another win.
Kentucky's been trash all season. UNC isn't that great. I'll admit that. And Auburn, really? You lost to Ohio State, my guy.
Hey, you can't win them all.
And you might lose them. You might lose them again in your own house on Sunday. I'm just saying.
We'll see about that. You want to put a little side pizza on it?
If I have to coach again on Sunday, because you're down.
Speaking of winning it all, do you guys know Miami of Ohio? They might actually win them all. They have an undefeated season going right now. Think they do it?
Yeah, I think they do it.
I think they do it too.
Yeah.
Anyways, no side thing. You just said we can't win them all. I was like, I think they have a shot.
No, you're right. They could. Okay, so for my hot dog pick, for the first time this season on the pod, I'm going outside of the Big Ten. I didn't really like any other games on the Big Ten slate tomorrow. So I'm going to my second favorite conference of all time. There is nothing like putting the kids to bed, grabbing a 6-pack of beer, and sitting down for some late night Mountain West basketball.
If he picks Gonzaga, I'm going to cry.
Yeah. No, Mountain West. No, they're the West Coast Conference. I'm talking Mountain West.
Mountain West. All right.
I'm talking New Mexico basketball. I'm talking San Diego State basketball, Nevada, UNLV. It is just, like I said, there's nothing better than late night Mountain West basketball. And so for my second pick, I am going with one of the greatest nicknames of all time, the Antelopes. The Grand Canyon Antelopes are playing the Utah State Aggies tomorrow night, Saturday, 10 p.m. So like I said, put the kids to bed. Grab your beer because this one's going to be a great one. Utah State is favored by 10.5 in this game. I watch a lot of Mountain West basketball. That's just too high. Utah State comes in impressive record 23-5. They're on a 2-game losing streak though, including earlier this week. They had an ugly 17-point loss to San Diego State. It was a toss-up game and they lost by 17 at San Diego State. Grand Canyon, on the other hand, not quite as impressive of a record, 18-10 overall, but they're 3-1 in their last 4. Last week, they played this same San Diego team that beat up on Utah State, and Grand Canyon beat them as a 7-point dog. They beat them by 10. So common opponent, checkmark Grand Canyon. Now, these two specific teams, Grand Canyon and Utah State, played each other last month. Grand Canyon won that game by 10. So now you're telling me that they are an underdog by 10.5? That's a 20.5 point swing right there. I'm not buying it. This Grand Canyon team, very good defensively against the 2 and the 3. On offense, they're led by Jaden Henley, who earlier this week against UNLV had 28 points, blew up for 28 points. So I think 10.5 is just too much in this game. Give me the Lopes, they call them, the Antelopes at plus 10.5 against Utah State Aggies.
We, of course, are locking that in, and that's going to give you a plus 807. So recap of our hot dog. 10.5 for Grand Canyon. As the Wiseman just stated, I'm going to go with the Lady Vols, the men's version. The non-successful of the 2 basketball programs.
It's true.
It is true. Minus 4.5 for Tennessee, and then the Wiseman is, of course, not. Excuse me. Shano is going with
Providence money line. Providence money line. Like I said, if you want to safer bet, do the points. But hey, it's a hot dog pick. Let's get nuts. Good, take a money line. Let's get nuts.
Speaking of nuts, we're gonna have that new segment coming up.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that.
Side bet. I can't bet on this game, but I'm going to go see some basketball tomorrow. I'm going to see George Mason play St. Bonaventure.
Yes.
So see George Mason play St. Bonnie's. George Mason has a good team this year, but they're in a slump right now. They're 1-5 the last 6 games, and that's because their leading scorer has been hurt and he's been out. He's playing tomorrow, and Mason is underdogs. So if you're not in Virginia, maybe sprinkle some money on Mason to win.
I'm going to do a quick side. I know we're running out of time. I know we're going to do a quick side bet here for me. I'm going to go with Gonzaga -1 over St. Mary's. They have to travel to St. Mary's. Gonzaga takes this. And don't forget, UNC plays. They play Virginia Tech. That's not going to even be a game. So, Sparty, I know you play on Sunday. Maybe take some notes, Tom Izzo, and see how we beat a team like Virginia Tech, an ACC, which some would say the better of the 2 conferences, tougher. Just saying.
There's another big game in Virginia.
How many championships have come out of the Big Ten in the last 15 years?
Well, the last championship to come out of the Big Ten was Michigan State in 2000. So you're right.
Okay.
You're right. But that's why they play the games. Hey, I'm a little disappointed I didn't get a congratulations on my Olympic parlay, which I believe I announced on this show before the Olympics started. It was USA women hockey winning the gold, U.S. men's hockey winning the gold, and Canadian curling winning the gold. I'm not sure if you saw that curling Canada-Great Britain match that Saturday. It was riveting television. Oh. So yeah, that 3-leg or Olympic parlay, man, that was good stuff.
Yeah, we talked all about the hockey games. We didn't talk much about the curling games, but the hockey games were great too. Both hockey games are great. The women's and the men's are both good games.
Yeah, absolutely. There
is another big game in Virginia tomorrow. Virginia is playing Duke, 2 top 10 teams. We can't bet on it once again. I kind of like the under in that game. So if anybody's betting out there, there's 2 slow-paced teams that both play really good defense. And the over-under's at like 169, I think, or something like that. So that's another lean I had too, but I can't bet on it in Virginia.
Before we go, we have, of course, our bets, and then a recap of all of our bets. You can catch that on our newsletter. All you have to do is go to JustWinBetsBaby.com. You'll get your newsletter in your inbox around 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, no later than 10. In hockey, in college basketball, in women's hockey, in soccer for me, which I've introduced La Liga. So that's going to be something Tom Viola and I talked earlier, my friend Tom Viola. So we did some 4 picks in MLS. And one of them, of course, he's taking Austin FC. I really like that pick of his. And Philadelphia Union will win on Sunday. So that's a lock for me for the MLS. We have some more. I've been doing some NBA. We went 2-0 last night. We'll see how we do tonight. But yes, 7-1 in 5 different leagues. Pretty impressive.
Once again, screw you, San Jose Sharks, messing up our perfect day.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, that's gonna. Nice fleece there.
Yeah, thank you for the quarter zip. I got it in the mail 2 days ago, so thank you very much. I love it.
Yeah, I like the gray one better. I don't mind the yellow. I think the yellow looks out for me, but I might have to ask him for a gray one.
My wife said I look distinguished with the gray fleece and the gray hair. So,
ooh, I'm not going to argue with her because I don't want to get upset her or anything like that. By the way, before we go, the family okay? The family doing them well?
My daughter got all her infant shots yesterday. So all the vaccines and stuff. So that basically makes them sick for the first couple of days. So it was a rough night last night, but family's great. Family's great. Can't complain. How are you?
Not to mention the 2 feet of snow that you had.
Oh, the snow was crazy. Monday night or Sunday night going into Monday. We went outside. It was a blizzard. It was bad. It was bad. But now the weather's warming up and most of it's gone. Good
to hear. Good to hear.
Did you guys get hit with it? The snow?
We got a little bit, but nothing crazy.
Nothing. Not compared to. I mean, you're nothing compared to you guys. You guys got 2 feet, man. I mean,
we get like a couple inches, and it was gone. It was gone by noon.
Yeah. You guys get. You guys get 2 feet in DC. You guys are gone till April.
Oh yeah, easy.
Exactly. But the last one, the last major one what was that, Shano? 2-3 weeks ago? It was ice.
Yeah, that was bad.
We couldn't do anything, dude.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, go figure. Okay. That's going to end it for us here, guys. For the wise man, Shane O'Mac, and I am JoeDaFan. We will see you next week. We'll have some mid-major picks throughout the week. So make sure you sign up for that free newsletter, winning pick newsletter on JustWinBetsBaby.com. We'll have, of course, our announcement in the UFL Fantasy. We got a lot of announcements, and our final announcement is Adam, the Ace of Diamonds, is back, not only for the Major League Baseball, but he's going to be covering the World Baseball Classic. Shano, real quick, he was on fire last year, not only in the MLB, but in college baseball.
Dude, his college World Series picks, wasn't he like 85% hit rate?
85. Yeah,
it was something ridiculous. He was on fire with his college World Series picks. So look out for his picks. He's going to be joining back for us for baseball season, and look for him because they'll be going through, and he knows his stuff when he's betting baseball. So
absolutely,
look for him.
That guy is the man when it comes to baseball stuff. We'll have some CFL, some WNBA later on. We'll have the UFL GOAT doing his picks. We'll have more announcements coming up soon. But until next time, have a good night. Good luck to you all your picks this weekend, and we will see you next time. Take care.
See ya.
Bye.